Oh, good, 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 good. It actually, I was worried about the camera there. Oh, my nose. I'm gonna say it was a spider bite. I don't know what it is. It's not quite a pimple, but it's something. So just don't look. We'll pretend I'm facing the other way. Anyway, hello everybody, welcome back. I'm AJ O'Neill. This is our first session with, well, not our first session with my son crying in the background. But I think my wife will take care of that. But this is our first session, I think, that we're doing on Telebit. I've mentioned Telebit a bunch of times. I brought up this website a few times. Um, Telebit is essentially a poor man's VPN. It tunnels, rather than trying to tunnel an entire network, it tunnels just HTTPS. That's all it does. And what this allows you to do is well, it can tunnel anything over HTTPS as well. I guess to be more specific, it tunnels port 443. That's what Telebit does. And this is a product that I have on any given day up to maybe 24 new users. I don't think that I've had a day in the past year where I didn't get a new user. So this is probably my second most popular product that I've ever created, which I think is pretty cool considering that the website literally has not been touched since it was, I think, kind of first put. I think we had a demo site up or a test site up, but since this hasn't been touched in years, and the most commonly requested feature, well, two things. One, people just want to pay because they want to know that it's going to be there tomorrow, right? Anytime there's a service that's free, you kind of are left wondering, is this going to stick around? Is the person that I'm paying this money actually motivated enough to put their time and attention into this so that I can rely on it being available to me when I need it? So I think that's number one, is people want to pay because they want a sense of, yes, this is going to be around tomorrow. And then number two is people want to be able to use custom domains. So in this example here, you can see it says forwarding johndoe.telebit.io to localhost 3000. Now the ability to have a custom domain due to basically spam, not just spam, but actual phishing attacks. So people will put up bank websites and stuff like that. So I actually made it so that you can't pick your own domain, because I wanted it to be really random and not look like anything else. And we still have problems with people setting up bank websites and stuff like that. And actually, there are people who work at banks also who use Telebit to test their bank website, because there was one time, there've been a couple times I've reached out to people proactively and said, hey, it looks like what you're doing with this is kind of weird. Are you actually an employee of this company? And they said, yeah, I am. And they were able to validate that and whatnot. So anyway, the service um, attracts crap customers, unfortunately. And because it can be used, it's not necessarily intended to be this way. It's intended for convenience, to be able to access your devices and share your stuff, and all the reasons that are listed here. Be able to test webhooks, show your project to your mom. And I'm serious about that, because when you start programming, localhost is not friendly. You want to be able to share things with people that you care about. So these are all, I think, the most common use cases for what people already use Telebit for. But anyway, so we want to be able to enable payments so that people can get extra features, and I can have some sort of assurance that that person is legitimate. That I can offer them a custom domain and not have to worry about consequences. So we have that, and I've been thinking about how are we going to offer these services. How are we going, and how are we, I want, let me step back and think for a second. I want Telebit to be something that's easy to pay for, that's cost effective, meaning, and by cost effective, I mean that if you bought the software and ran it yourself, it would be cheaper to run this to purchase the service potentially than to buy the software and run it on your own server. So that's what I mean by cost effective, because there's a lot of stuff out there where I've talked about this before. The scaling goes wrong. So I want the payments to be simple and easy. I want them to be able to have low payments potentially for a 1-day use or something like that. And so I think that Dash and PayPal are the things that I want to integrate with this. And Dash is probably going to be the first one because, well, I'm incentivized to do so. Quite simply. And I'm excited to be able to finally add payments to this. Anyway, so with that long ramble out of the way, I actually only have a few minutes before I have to leave. So this is mostly the intro video, trying to figure out what are we going to do. Anyway, so here's a thought that I've had. It's not necessarily as important that someone pay money as it is that they show that they have money. And I think there's some amount of trade-off that could be done there. I was just thinking about the idea of staking. So if I want to know that you're a real person, if you have, let's say, $1,000, which most people probably don't have that equivalent, but let's say that you have the equivalent of $1,000. Would you be willing to put money that could be fluid out as static money that's a verifiable stake? So staking, I'm off to a bad start with this. Sorry. Two ideas are going in too many different directions as I'm thinking about this all. Everything's getting jumbled in my head. Okay, anyway, so let me back up here. So staking is the idea in the cryptocurrency space that you send money to an address and people can verify that the money exists on the address, and you can send a message that's signed with the same key that corresponds to where the money lives. So it's the same private key. You can sign a message and you can say, I'm staking this. You say we put the Telebit URL, that they have to send a message with the Telebit URL to a Telebit API with a private key that owns some money. What that does is it verifies that you have the private key and there's a bunch of money there, and we could check that periodically, and we could say, okay, if you're willing to stake money, even if you're not paying anything, just by willing to stake money, we'll give you a discount because it means that you're less likely to be a bot. So just the fact that you seem more like a person if you have a substantial amount of money that you're willing to just float as part of proving your identity. So anyway, this is one of the ideas that I had that I thought was kind of interesting. Also, if you've been around for the Dash Pay or the Day Pass, the idea of just putting up a QR code, letting people scan, that's kind of cool. I do have to find an on-ramp so that people that have US dollars would be able to pay in Dash, and that's going to be something that's interesting. Do we have a donate? We have a donate page here. Okay. So, interesting. Yeah, I'll have to remove that. And as soon as you donate is a word that really turns people off. And you may not believe this if you're a bit younger, but if you've been around the block and you've been part of open source projects and stuff, giving people a business license or some sort of business service, even if you change nothing, if all you do is just say business license, a lot of times that's enough of an incentive for people to pay because they want to know, like I said earlier, the service is going to be around. Anyway, so this is in Node. Presently, what's actually running here is in Node, but I have another version of Telebit that is in Go. And so this version of Telebit is going to be the paid version that we deploy, I believe. So let me move that back over here. And I have to, yeah. So let me just go to this real quick. I'm going to go to the issues, and I'm just going to put here, thinking through payments. By the way, if you have any thoughts, feel free to leave them. So one thing is we need, and I'm going to put Dash payments. All right, thinking through Dash payments. So number one, we need to register with Dash checkout. Register API key for Dash checkout. Another thing that we need to do, the next thing that we're going to need to do is we're going to need to be able to present QR. Well, I guess we kind of need, we can do this easy stuff that we've already done first. Just let people pay and associate it with their account somehow. So we're going to present a QR with payment address. And this is actually kind of part of Dash checkout. So I'm just going to put this as Dash checkout show QR with payment address. And then we need to have our link. We need to link a user to a payment. We need to have allow payment key as user. So what I mean by that is, let's say that, I don't know that I really want to do this one quite yet on Telebit though, because of the problems I've had in the past with attracting bad users. I kind of, because of the way the service works, I particularly don't want it to be anonymous right now until I have a better mechanism. So first thing, I guess we need to put here, if we want to allow anonymous users, I need a better mechanism for banning users. I need basically a one-click mechanism for banning bad actors. So okay. I also am going to need some sort of I'm gonna have to think through this. Let's say allow payment private key in lieu of, can I just put it like that? So in lieu of email verification. Which I think there's a way that we could go about this too. So I think there's kind of a network of services that I think are the core services of the web that we need to build out that can be paid in Dash. Email is one of them, because basically if we have something like Mailinator, then you can just say, look, I don't care what you do. You're just going to pay for the service. And you pay for the service, you get an address, the end. That's the story. As long as you pay, you have the service. If you don't pay, you don't have the service. Period. Very, very simple. Very, very easy. Okay, so allow private key in lieu of email verification. So we're going to need a build out a mechanism for banning bad actors, and we're going to need to somehow, update database with key-based auth. Something that we're going to need to do. And I am going to build out this service in Node. So I have the Go version is torn apart into a few different pieces. So the actual client that runs on the device is Go. The actual relay service that runs on the server is in Go. But there is a system of requests, rather than pulling in a library and having logic put in a library that is compiled into the binary, or in the case of Node, that would be required as a JavaScript file. The behavior is that it will make a request out to an authorization server. So it requires there be an authorization server. So when a device goes to connect, that token goes to an authorization server, and the authorization server is going to respond back with an access token that's going to last for so many hours or whatever it's going to be. Oh, hey everybody, how's it going? I'm AJ, and I only have maybe 10 more minutes before I have to leave. But so I'm just, with this first episode, I'm just going through what the point of Telebit is and how I think I'm going to end up doing payments.
I will leave the kids here, run to the store. You start getting ready because we're going.
Okay.
So it's 4:20.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay, kids are here. I'm leaving kids at home.
Okay.
And I'm going, and I'll be back.
Understand. Okay. The kids are here. She'll be back. We got it. Okay. So anyway. Yeah, let's see here. I forgot where I was at. So I was explaining. Oh, there's 3 different parts. So I'm going to say Telebit is broken down into at least 3 parts. And so that is the client. So, for example, on a Raspberry Pi, the relay, which is example telebit.io, and the basically, it's not quite single sign-on, but it's kind of single sign-on. So this one is, there's a Go client, there's Go relay. I do have a little bit of a management service that's built in Go, but we're going to build this in Node because of the Dash tooling already exists in Node, and that's just easier to deal with all the way around. All right, so we've got a service we're working on, Dash checkout. We have a way to register an API key, but one thing that's not complete yet is the webhooks for, not for the payments, but for the registration of the key. So if my key is about to expire, and this is not part of Telebit per se. Well, some of this is going to be integrated. It's going to be integrated in Telebit, but it's also going to be happening in Dash checkout. So we're going to have some sort of webhook for API key expiration. And I kind of want to implement email in this as well. So I think I'm going to do email for API key expiration. And I don't think I want to do SMS quite yet. Email's such a pain in the butt to get set up, though. There's so many little annoying things that you have to do. They're all relatively simple if you look at them discreetly, but there's 12 different steps, and you have to go into Postmark, and then you've got to go into your DNS settings, and then you got to generate it, this, that, and the other, and link up. You just have to link up a bunch of things. You have to sign into a bunch of things and link up a bunch of things. By the way, this is our, we'll whip out the old-fashioned Mountain Dew tonight when I get back on. But this is from Swig. Not a sponsor. But it's I think it's called the Rocket. It's some sort of Mountain Dew mix that my waifu got for me. That's pretty good. Anyway, so I think the most interesting part of this, as far as Telebit's concerned, is going to be integrated into the single sign-on. So the single sign-on is where, actually, let's go look at the documentation for that again. I'm going to just submit this real quick, and we're going to go take a look. Bum, 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 bum. So under, I think it's internal. Is it internal? Let me go back here and take a look real quick. Management. All right. Must be directly accessible. Right. Okay, I'm not sure. I'm trying to remember what the secret was about. I need to look back at the documentation for this. Hopefully down here it has a full list of everything. No, it doesn't. So I need to give where devices are going to register, where the tunnel exists, what the database is, And then I guess this inside of it, it's been about 2 years since I've worked on this. So probably about 4 years since it's probably 2017. So actually, let's take a look at GitHub real quick. GitHub. Or is it, I don't even know if it's on there. Let's just look for telebit.js. Interesting. What is this? Somebody kifing my stuff here? Oh, that's it right there. Holy moly. Yeah, so 3 years ago was the last time. Oh, May 12th, 2019. 28th of May. There we go. 2019. Okay, anyway. What was I going to look at here? Interesting. So somebody is just basically okay, good. Somebody's basically just mirroring on GitHub, I guess. I'll have to check that out a little bit more later. Anyway, yeah, so just planning this out. We're going to register an API key. We're going to do what we've already done in the Dash checkout demo, show the payment address, the link the user to the payment. So that's going to require updating the database. Didn't I already put an update database thing in here? Yeah, and okay. Let's see, maybe we should just go ahead and get started. I think what I want to do is let's see this. I think this is gonna, yeah, this is gonna have to be a domain that I already have full control over. To stand this up, I'm actually gonna go check out how I've got Telebit set up presently. Let's pull this over here. Boop. Pull this over here. Boop. All right, also, for my own sanity, I'm going to go into a mode of not speaking everything out loud and not really paying attention to the fact that someone may be watching, because I just need to right now. Okay, so I'll try to still say what I'm thinking, but I'm going to try to do it from the perspective of not having an audience. Okay, so what I need to do is I need to stand up the new Telebit. So the first thing that I probably need to do is just see, can I get a very simple demo of this working? Let's see here. How did I have this working on DuckDNS? Oh, I think I just had one. Okay, let me think about this. I could stand up Telebit. Where did I buy Telebit.io? I don't even know where that is right now. I'm going to check on name.com. It's probably on Namecheap, because I don't think that name.com gave me a very good price on the .io. So let me see if I can get logged into Namecheap. Sorry, I'm not going to show you me logging in. I'm going to go to the dashboard, sign in and continue. Yes, verification code. Sent to my email. I'm going to go check my email real quick. Okay, Namecheap support gave me the confirmation code. Oh, you know what? I really like Namecheap's verification email. It shows account, the username, when, the time, and the location as well. What device, the user agent. Oh, that's pretty cool. I really like that. I really appreciate it. I would like to model after that. Okay, so I'm in my Namecheap dashboard. Okay, we've got telebit.xyz. We've got telebit.app. Interesting. Telebit.io. What is telebit.xyz? Did I ever actually stand that up? Okay, it just goes back here. I wonder if I have... Oh, I think I actually am rotating through the different domains that are given out. I'm going to have to look. I might be able to bring this over and show what I'm looking at in just a second. Okay. It blows my mind how difficult these domain services make it to get to your domain. Okay, interesting. TXT record. All right. So that's good to know. So telebit.xyz and telebit.app are all going to the same place. Let's see about telebit.io. I think that might have more records. Yeah, it does. Just for email. It's got an additional record for email. Okay. So basically all of them, both the the Apex domain, so telebit.xyz, as well as the wildcard star.telebit.xyz, and so on for each of them, they're all pointing to the same server. So I think what I could do, let me see if I can pull this back up. Telebit.rootprojects.org. Oh, whoops. Let's see here, the rootcompany.com. Yes. Should let me in, no problem. Okay. Whoops. Interesting. So that's get.telebit.io. That's kind of strange to me. Because I was expecting... I actually don't remember where this is, how this is being hosted. I think that I'm using my own DNS server on this, which is both good and bad. Let's see, home. Okay. Telebit. All right. Let's see, them, Etsy, system, D, system. Okay, we've got Telebit relay. Good enough. Where's this at? Oh, opt Telebit. Got it. All right, cool. Oh, okay, that's where everything is. That's what I was kind of expecting. Okay. So, I'm not sure what's in each of these. Telebit relay. How do I have this server set up? So here's my issue. I am going to need one of the interesting things about running a relay service is that you can't use a normal web server because you have to capture the TLS as it's coming in before you know where it's going to go, because you may be forwarding that TNS directly to a client without further decryption. You may not actually be authorized. You may not have the keys to decrypt the traffic. So you have the TLS header that tells you where the traffic is intended to go, but beyond that, you may not have it, which means that in order to use any of these domains, I would have to take the service offline. So I'm not going to be using this server. Essentially, that's the short of it. So I'm going to go back to DigitalOcean. I'm going to create a new server. By the way, you can't really, you have to use something like DigitalOcean to host a service like this. You have to have uptime. Let's see. Whoa, what happened? I'm logging into DigitalOcean over here. All right, Telebit. And I'm just going to stand up a new Telebit service. So I'm going to create a new droplet. I'm probably going to pick the lowest that they have. I don't need anything special at all. So we're just going to go with... I actually think I will go with the latest Ubuntu 22.04 just to see how that goes, rather than the prior one. Okay. So, well, yeah, I'm not going to show this right now. I don't need any storage for this. I'm going to add all of my SSH keys. I'm going to enable backups and monitoring and IPv6. And we're going to call this... I'm not sure what to call it. So I think we could add a new record that would be, say, star.v2. I'm going to try this. I'm going to try putting a new record that is star.v2.telebit.io and see if that will work. Once I create my droplet. Okay, so I'm going to call this v2.telebit.io. And then Telebit v2. Okay. And I'm just going to put that, I was going to put it in the demo location, but maybe I'll put it in with my regular org. All right, v2.telebit.io. Actually, I think what I'll have to be is tunnel.v2, because I can't, if you use a wildcard, you cannot specify, and I think this is kind of hokey. I think you should be able to both specify a wildcard and specify a domain that, so the wildcard is the fallback. But that is not the way that the spec is written. The spec is written that if you have a wildcard, you cannot have any other matching record type that could be matched by the wildcard. So over here where you cannot see, I'm going to be adding a new... oh, cool. They have A-name records. They call them alias records for some reason. I think that's kind of dumb. They should just call them A-name so that people know what it is. I'm just going to go CNAME. So host, I'm going to go with star.v2. And we're going to set that to 5 minutes. And save. Star.v2 dot telebit.io. Okay. Interesting. It doesn't like... Okay, that's... Oh, oops. It's because I wasn't using... Okay, there we go. Star.v2. So now, if I set this up, I should be able to set this up as tunnel.v2.telebit.io. That's what I think I'm going to do. Oh, this will be interesting. This should work out okay. I should be able to... maybe what I'll do is I'll disable one of the domains for Telebit. One of the reasons that I originally had the 3 domains for Telebit is because if you're using Let's Encrypt, if you have so many different domains coming through, you have a limit. And I wasn't yet in the public suffix list. That took, I think, about 6 months to get in the public suffix list so that cookies and other security credentials, including TLS, would be considered separate by browsers for subdomains of the Telebit domains. So if I'm not mistaken, if I were to just look in some sort of config file here, let's see, Telebit relay. Let's see, star.star. Is there some sort of conf? There should be a conf file. Okay, I need to go find out what's going on with the kiddos. I will be right back. Where's my little... I'm going to put up getting the door. That's what we're going to call it. Hey, what's going on? All right. We got a situation. Well, I'm going to end the stream here. Adios, folks.